All right, listeners to the Dan Le Batard Show, you guys know what the deal is. The MMA Hangout, your boy 10-Day Tony Colladion. I'm here joined by a god amongst men. Conner Burks, you know him as GC.
Far high to praise. Far high to praise. That is not even close.
You know him as GC from the MMA Hour. Conner, one of my ESPN brethren from back in the day, and we're out here making it happen. UFC 291, Salt Lake City gets another numbered UFC event.
Yeah, here we go. We're going back to Salt Lake City. I mean, we saw death gases almost the entire card last time out. It looked like Leon Edwards had fallen victim to it as well before, obviously, the head kick that shocked the world. But yeah, we're back, man. I got my Jazz shirt on. Western Conference Champs '97. I mean, shout out, bro. Welcome back to Salt Lake City.
I was there for the All-Star game, and I saw the belt. They had it in like the corner of the rotunda of like the Toyota whatever, like lounge. It was in the back in the closet. Leon Edwards gloves, the belt, pictures of the knockout, and like a little tiny shrine, like 4 feet by 3 feet, getting absolutely zero love for one of the greatest head kick finishes of all time.
Dude, one of the greatest moments like in MMA history.
In sports.
Yes. Like, I cannot watch that without like getting chills. Like when John Anik gives like the no way with like the most just disbelief. Like I remember when it happened, jaw absolutely on the floor. I was literally speechless. I had no words, and it's just like stuff next to like John Stockton when he has like a 27 assist game. It's just like, John.
It's not even close to the Jazz stuff. It's close to like monster truck rally, like paraphernalia. It's so weird. If somebody can ever find a picture of that, like please send it to us, because I need to see like the corner that it's in. But getting to this one, 291. First off, how could we be 290? Right? 290 was just up and down, classic card. Volk again becomes, champ and cementing his legacy at featherweight. But when I started looking ahead at 291, and you look at Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier, Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira, all the entire card, all the way down, bangers of fights. UFC is on one right now,
dude. I really like. I've said it a few times, and the man I work with, Ariel Helwani, says it a lot. The UFC, it's almost like they can do no wrong, man. It's just like when you look at what they're putting out, especially with these pay-per-views. I mean, 292 with Aljo and Sugar Sean, banger. They're heading to Australia. We just got the announcement of Islam Oliveira and Paulo Costa going up against Chimaev. It's just like you look at the order of things. John Jones is fighting in November. It's just like,
oh God,
it's just like they just keep churning it out, man. And it's like, how can we top 290? And they're just like, here's 291. Where what this might lack with stakes. Obviously, I'm a supporter of the BMF belt.
Let's
baby.
go.
I mean, silver's on the line on Saturday night. All right, many men have held gold. Only one has ever held silver.
Exactly.
And he resides in beautiful Miami, Florida.
That's right,
Jorge
baby.
Masvidal. He'll be wrapping the belt around the winner on Saturday night. Honestly, though, like it is obviously like a gimmick belt. Like it's something just to add a little hype. And there's no other titles on the line. 292. 2 title fights on that one, and the co-main being an absolute banger between Moreno and Pantoja. We make up for it in this regard just with straight bangers. Like this main event, Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje, I can guarantee you, if you are on the fence about watching this fight, let me just go ahead and just tell you, you need to be watching this fight. There is absolutely zero evidence throughout these guys' entire careers that leads you to believe that this is not going to be a banger of a fight. Really the only way that I see it not being just an all-out war is if there's an early knockout. I mean, they fought before. It made it to the 4th round, and it was just a back-and-forth affair the entire way. And if you just look at both of these guys' careers, Dustin Poirier, tied for the most fight of the nights in UFC history with 8, and Justin Gaethje, the only man to have 3 fight of the years. Like, these dudes put on shows, man, and they're going against each other. They know what's on the line. Both these guys getting in the twilight of their careers as well. They know they don't have many left in them. They're going to go all out, and it's going to be badass.
This feels to me like what I call a phone booth fight, right? You're going to throw these two guys in a phone booth, and they are going to throw haymaker after haymaker after haymaker. I think I saw a stat where Justin Gaethje has 17 fight bonuses, like the payout for fight bonuses. He's got 17.
Dustin Poirier says paid in full. Justin Gaethje is paid in full from making like, I mean, I don't even know how much that is.
17.
How much money that is. It's an obscene amount of money just
I can't do the
like,
math. We're doing $50K for a fight bonus, and you're talking about 17 of them. I can't do that math.
$850,000, $850K just on like under the table checks. Who knows how much have just showed up in his mailbox too? Like, yo, appreciate the banger. Here's an extra $250,000.
And the other thing too about Gaethje is strikes landed per minute 7.28, which is insane. I think it's the highest among active 55ers. This is going to be a banger. Like the only way outside of an early knockout that this doesn't go the distance and end up being a banger fight is if there's some sort of eye poke. If there's something like that, okay.
Yes, let me knock on wood because I
don't have any close to me.
I have said this, but a couple of people have been like, dude, you're jinxing it. You're jinxing it. Here's what I mean by like it's almost guaranteed a banger. There is no chance, there is no world where these guys come in here timid and like stare at each other and it's like leg kicks and they're like clinching up against the cage or it's just like lay and pray wrestling. These dudes are going to go at it if they're given the opportunity. And I obviously believe they're about to be given the opportunity. And it's just going to be incredible. When it comes to who's going to win, man, flip a coin, bro.
It's a coin flip, right?
I really don't know. And I think that just makes it that much better that it's just like, I don't even know who's going to win. It's not like someone's coming in here like trying to pull off a miracle. Like this is two very evenly matched dudes.
Even more so who I think is going to win. I don't even know who to root for because I love both dudes, right?
How can you not? How can you not? They've delivered so many fantastic moments over the course of their careers.
Like I love Justin. I love Dustin. Dustin has an absolute steel chin. Dude gets punched, kicked. What's been making the rounds on social media is Dustin's leg post Poirier Gaethje 1, where it was his whole hamstring was just black from leg kicks. I think he absorbed 45 leg kicks that night.
Insane.
And it was just a black hamstring. Like he had bruising everywhere. And just you can't tell. Like he's just such a hoss. And Gaethje the same way too against Fiziev, who kicks like a mule. And he was just taking shots, and then all of a sudden ends up where it's like, oh, it's clear that Gaethje won the fight. Those two guys are just incredible what they do, and
it's really incredible that Gaethje pulled off that fight. I mean, he was a pretty big dog coming into that Fiziev fight, and Fiziev was supposed to be this next, prototype coming in at 155, and Gaethje was like, not yet, man. Like I'm making one more run at this, and it starts on Saturday night. If you still have any questions, I think Poirier was quoted this week saying, I don't think this is going to go 25 minutes. And if it does, me and Justin can have a conversation about that when we're both at the hospital, because that's where we'll be. Like, they're just like, I'm ready for war, bro. Like bodies getting sacrificed. And I salute them for it because it is going to be wildly entertaining.
One word, who you got?
Poirier. Give me the diamond.
I love that. All right, moving on to the co-main event, Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira, his first foray into the light heavyweight division. And Pereira's I've seen him twice in person. I saw him at MSG when he fought Izzy and beat him the first time. And I saw him down here in Miami when Izzy beat him. During the press conferences, I've never seen a scarier person in real life. Pereira is just a cyborg. He's a robot of just a mercenary of death. I don't know what to call him. He's just a guy that I would never want to be in the same room with again.
So I have actually met him as well. He came on to the MMA Hour and he came in studio.
Massive.
So massive and like nice guy. Like he's like nice, but like he is also insanely intimidating. Like it's just like, hey man, can I get your mic pack? And he's just hands it off to you. Like,
no words.
Terrifying man with an insane wealth of combat sports experience, obviously coming over from kickboxing, fighting Izzy twice over there and now twice in MMA. And I mean, he's shown he can hang with the big dogs. Like he's an absolute monster. The death touch in the left hand, like he can strike with the best of them. Where you have to be concerned here is obviously the grappling and going up against the guy in Jan Blachowicz, who we saw use the grappling against Israel Adesanya when he made his move up to 205. A couple other concerns I have for Alex Pereira. Debuting at 205, we don't know how he's going to look at this weight class. Obviously, he's going to fill out 6'4", is going to be coming into the fight.
230. He walks around at 230 or something. It's crazy.
I'm not too concerned about him being big enough. One thing that I really am concerned about, 3 months ago, you saw it in Miami. He got sent to the shadow realm. Like he was out cold. There's videos of him where Izzy is like done celebrating and Pereira is like, yeah, he's like, I'm still not sure where I'm at. You don't know how he's going to react coming back into a fight after that. Last thing I'll say on that, kickboxing though, they do fight much more frequently. So like maybe that's an adjustment that he can make. It's going to be a banger. I think Jan's going to be smart. I think he's going to come in and use some grappling, but I wouldn't necessarily underrate his striking. Like it's not the smartest game plan to stand and strike with a world champion kickboxer, but I think if he mixes in the grappling and he limits the striking, I think he can have some success here.
But it does. I wish with obviously the news of Jamal Hill tearing his Achilles because of the UFC fighter basketball game, which, guys, what are we doing? First off. Second off, with him relinquishing the belt, man, I wish the UFC, like this would have been kind of the cherry on top of,
could you imagine though?
We'll put these two guys at light heavy and this will be the title fight.
Could you imagine that this would be, I think, Alex Pereira's 6th fight in the UFC, and he would already have 3 title fights, 2 of which at different weight classes? Like, come on. Like, are we really pushing him that hard? Like, this would be absolutely ridiculous. He could have been 6 fights into his UFC career and already held belts in 2 different divisions. Like, it would be absolutely ridiculous.
Who do you think wins?
I'll say Jan because I think he fights with a smart game plan, but if we go through full first round and they stay standing the entire time, I'll take Pereira, but trusting Jan to come in with a good game plan.
I like Poatan, man. It's that one hitter quitter knockout power that he's got. It's like,
man.
Dude,
when he comes out with the
oh
arrow,
my God. And then he stops and just hits you that. Dude, I heard him scream over everybody else's scream at the Kaseya Center. It was insane. 30 seconds for quick. What's the other fight on this card that you're like, yeah, this is the one?
Give me Matt Semmelsberger versus Uros Medish. Medish never gone longer than 8 minutes in his career. Semmelsberger, 6 knockdowns in his last 3 fights. Those dudes are going to come in, stand, trade. Someone's getting put out.
I love it. He's Conner Burks of the MMA Hour. Brother, plug everything that you do.
MMA Hour, Mondays and Wednesdays on MMA Fighting YouTube. MMA Hour in Dallas for Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul next week. That's it.
Let's go.